I'm Denise from Paint a Party, and I have a Paint a Party YouTube channel that I do face painting tips and tricks and tutorials. I got into face painting because I worked for the Alumni Association at UVU as a graphic artist, and we had hired some face painters for a first annual family fair. And so I was one of those wannabe people that sat there and asked them all kinds of questions. And then my job went full-time, and I didn't want to stay full-time, and we'd been entrepreneurs before because I had like remodeled houses and we owned a fourplex and things like that. So being an entrepreneur wasn't that big of a step for me. So I looked up face painting and haven't stopped since. I found Silly Heather on YouTube and Silly Forum and Lisa Joy Young and a bunch of other painters, and so I'm kind of an online baby that way. Kind of got started that way. So I kind of found my style is more quick, because I find myself being a slow painter, and so I have to modify designs so that I can do them within like 5 minutes. Because usually when I show up at parties, there are a lot of kids. I'm from Utah, and there's a lot of kids at the parties, so I have to keep my designs mostly under 5 minutes. So I usually will take fabulous designs that I see from other painters and kind of bring them down so that they fit the face right, and I can remember, okay, this is where I need to put the lines for like Iron Man. And so a lot of my designs are real simple looking, but it's on purpose because I like speed. I like to be able to get through a line quickly and make lots of money at Paperface. I got started using star blends because the first year that I did my first fair, we had a big tattooed burly guy, probably about 300 pounds. He was in his late 20s or so, and he wanted a skull. And my daughter was basing him out with white, and he flinched and just died. And he said afterwards that it was worse than getting a tattoo. And so I've always been on the lookout for something that, and even little boys hate the paint on their eyes. And so I started Star Blends initially as a way to work with boy designs so that the boys wouldn't flinch and have a hard time with it. But then when I got them, I discovered that I can blend with them. I can, use lots of colors in one design because it's quick. I don't have to wait, to get the right consistency because I had a hard time sponging, especially when I was new. And so Star Blends have just kind of become my full face go-to. But no, I still have my girly kit full of all my girly colors and things like that. But Star Blends are mostly for animal designs, boy designs. I use them almost all the time. Especially younger boys, because they really, they won't freak out about the wet paint on their face. And so it's kind of become my go-to for the full face. But yeah, I still do girly stuff. I still have all my rainbows and my one stroke. So, so I started doing YouTube videos because I took a class in calligraphy from Mark Reed at FPBA in Vegas. And I started, once I got used to the brush, we're talking I was only working for like 3 months. I hadn't even had my first paid gig when I went to this conference, right? But I had some experience with calligraphy. So once I got used to the brush, I started doing really cool flourishes and everything. And he comes over in his big voice and he goes, "You should be teaching this class," He probably wouldn't even remember it now, right? But when I got home, I thought, oh, I can do that, because I'd watched Silly Heather and I'd watched Lisa Joy Young, and I thought, oh, I can do this one class. Anyway, it was so funny because it's so long and so drawn out, but I go through all, how to do calligraphy with a brush. And so that kind of got me started, and then it's so fun because I worked with my daughter Emma on the videos, a lot of them, when I first started. And so we just had so much fun filming those videos, and it's just kind of course, now she started college, and I don't get to her as a model very often, but it's been a real fun to share with people, and everyone's been real positive about, hey, thank you for sharing, you broke it down for me, I really appreciate it. So I really enjoy it. And plus it helps with SEO. But we don't tell anybody that. So what advice would I give to a newbie just starting out and maybe wanting to do YouTube videos? Don't do it because I don't want the competition. I'm just kidding. No, really. No, I think the thing that people want is they want practical designs that they can use in their businesses. And so if you're doing YouTube videos, it's really not a show-off place. YouTube is always kind of the how-to channel to me. And so if you're doing the YouTube videos, that's probably not the place to show off. It's a place to give people tips. And that's why I like Heather's videos so much, because she does very practical designs. And I love Faba TV. Oh my gosh, like that's my go to bed, viewing time. But yeah, so that's my advice, is probably do things that people want to know about, that they are curious about. So that's what I've tried to do. And then as far as newbies, one thing I hate that newbies do is way undercharge, because it's so hard to raise your prices later. So get good enough to even charge. Don't undercharge and then hope you get better. Practice. I practiced for like 4 months before I had my first paid gig. So just make sure you're good and charge what the market's charging, so you won't make your competitors angry.